Well, we've got an active week of weather, a couple of snowfalls, some brutally cold air, and potentially dangerous conditions with blizzard conditions developing for much of Minnesota. So we've got the first of two snowfalls moving through this afternoon into this evening. Not a major event, but bad timing for the evening commute. And relatively light, fluffy snow. Both of these snowfalls will be that fluffy variety that accumulates quickly, but also can blow around. Should end here well before midnight tonight. And generally looking about an inch or two for the Twin Cities, but just north and east of the Twin Cities, there will be a little bit more, and especially across northern Minnesota and pockets of the North Shore, particularly Cook County. So around Grand Marais, Grand Portage, we could see several inches, maybe even a half foot of some fresh snow there. And then with the next more potent system, it's all about calculating the ratio of snow to water, and that's based on how cold or warm are we. Now, we're not going to be on the warm side of the system, but every difference in temperature is going to matter here. And if we're on the too cold side of the system, that means you get a high ratio of snow to water, but also less moisture. The colder the air is, the less water it can hold. And that matters when we're calculating this ratio, because generally the colder we get, you get a higher ratio of snow, you get bigger snowflakes to develop to a point. And then if it gets too cold, you get back to smaller flakes again, back to needles. So you got to hit that sweet spot of not too cold or too warm and just the right amount of moisture. And this is, again, showing generally that as the temperature gets colder, up until the single digits Fahrenheit, where the layer where the snowflakes form, that's where you get the highest ratio, 20 or 25 to 1 even, and then it starts to go back down again. So there's two different scenarios here. A couple models are a little warmer, have more moisture but lower ratios. So you have a warmer version here in the source layer of the snowflakes aloft, and you get maybe just a 13 to 1 ratio. But if you're on the slightly colder side, you have less moisture, but you also have a higher ratio of snow to water, maybe 18 to 1. So both can yield very similar snowfalls, but it's just going to be a different type of ratio of accumulation. So we're kind of watching that, but you don't want to get too far north where the moisture will really drop off quickly. But snow develops Wednesday into Thursday, and the biggest uncertainty is that moisture content and just how far to the north on the cold side will we be. And that snow lingers into Thursday night, and the big thing with this is the wind whipping around whatever we get. Even if we only get a few inches, that'll be enough to create blizzard conditions for part of Minnesota. So we're looking at the liquid equivalent, because you got to calculate our own ratio here rather than rely on solely the computer model. But you see, each of these 6 scenarios are over a half foot of snow because it's going to be that fluffier variety. Now, if it was last week's storm, it'd be probably half of those numbers or less. Wind gusts really pick up here Thursday into Friday. We're talking over 50 miles per hour with sub-zero temperatures. That equals brutal wind chills, but also very low visibilities, especially outside of the Twin Cities. We're going to see blizzard conditions likely even by late Wednesday into Thursday and Friday. Morning temperatures Friday, sub-zero statewide, even in the Twin Cities. Look at the wind chills settle in. All this pink, that's 40s and even 50s below zero in the Dakotas. Even right on the Twin Cities doorstep, early Friday morning, we could see wind chills near 40 below. Regardless, we're talking 30s below zero wind chill. That's exposed skin freezing in just a few minutes. So that's dangerous cold combined with the potential of that blowing snow creating blizzard conditions. So buckle in here for a cold stretch. And even as we head into the weekend, temperatures remain cold. So the temperatures we're experiencing today, this Monday afternoon, might be the warmest that we'll see in a week. That's how prolonged the cold is going to be. And you can see several sub-zero mornings here right through the weekend, Christmas morning even. Look at that, single digits below zero, wind chills even colder. But next week, we might actually see temperatures warming up to above normal readings in time for New Year's Eve. Seems like it's always cold for New Year's, but maybe this year will be an exception.